Today, a judge decided that a $400 million lawsuit filed by Justin Baldoni against Blake Lively had no merit. And I am a writer who tells stories about power and love, and as a result of that, I know a lot more about defamation law than most people. I'm not a media attorney or a First Amendment lawyer, but something that is interesting about defamation lawsuits is that a lot of times they are filed mostly as a public tool, like an optics thing, because it's really, really hard, especially if you're a public figure, to prove defamation. You have to reach this standard called actual malice, which had to have meant that Blake Lively knowingly made this all up and did it purely out of spite and malice. And I'm sure a lot of you will be saying that, yes, that is exactly what she did. But if any part of her story, if she believes it to be true, if she believes parts of her story to be true, it's very hard for him to prove that. In addition, the story that the New York Times published cites court documents. And if you are a journalist or a news outlet that is citing legal, publicly available lawsuits or court filings, you are protected because it's a public record. And it's been, of course, not all court documents are vetted, but the standard is that journalists are protected for the most part, so long as they're referring to a court record. So it was already quite an uphill battle for Baldoni, and I suppose the judge said that there was no evidence that her threats were wrongful extortion. Sorry, there's a fly flying around. And that the New York Times had no obvious motive to favor Blake Lively's version of events. So, yeah, I think among people on the internet, it's kind of an unpopular thing, but I also just think that it's sets a dangerous tone if we're all just suing each other for defamation. Every time a person has something that they really want to say about a situation or of sexual harassment or misconduct or power, any of these things. I mean, if we were all just suing, using the court system to sue each other for defamation, then there would be this culture of silence and fear, and that's not good. So, yeah.